What if the breakfast food you were taught to fear is not the food disturbing your numbers this morning? And what if the hidden mistake is the bread, juice, oil, and timing surrounding that egg every day? I am Dr. Thomas Bennett, guiding adults with diabetes through safer morning food decisions. Today, I will make eggs clear, practical, and safer. No guessing today. You will learn what helps, what backfires, and what deserves caution. The egg is not alone. That changes everything. Stay with me and subscribe for early doctor guidance before breakfast confusion keeps repeating. Welcome, and thank you for being here. With diabetes, breakfast is never just a morning habit. It is a signal. Many people wake up, check fasting glucose, and feel disappointed before the kitchen even gets warm. They are trying hard, yet the numbers still look stubborn. They skipped dessert last night, bought the oats, chose the toast, poured the juice, and picked low-fat yogurt. Those choices sounded healthy and responsible. Then the meter gives a reading that feels unfair. So they look at the egg and wonder if it is the problem. Maybe cholesterol warnings from years ago made them suspicious of yolks. Maybe a friend told them that eggs are dangerous for older adults. Maybe they stopped eating eggs and replaced them with a bowl of carbohydrates. That is where many mornings start going wrong. As a doctor, I want this point to be clear. For many people with diabetes, the egg itself is not the morning enemy. The larger issue is the breakfast pattern built around it. Refined starch, sweet drinks, heavy frying, and poor timing can turn a useful protein into a confusing meal. One plate can steady the morning for hours, while another can push glucose upward before lunch. That is the trap. An egg brings high-quality protein, and protein gives the stomach more work to do. It slows the meal compared with a breakfast built mostly from fast carbohydrates. It helps many people stay satisfied longer without chasing snacks. But that benefit weakens when eggs arrive beside white bread, tortillas, sweet coffee, juice, sugary cereal, or a huge bowl of quick oats. It also changes when the egg is fried in excess oil, paired with processed meat, or used as permission to add more bread. Two people can both say they ate eggs at breakfast. Their bodies can receive completely different metabolic messages. You are not failing. You have probably been given incomplete instructions about breakfast. Diabetes advice often reaches people in fragments, and fragments create confusion. One voice warns about cholesterol, while another warns about carbohydrates. Another says breakfast should be mostly fruit, and another says oatmeal is always the safest choice. Then a careful adult over 50 stands in the kitchen with a glucose meter, a carton of eggs, and no clear plan. I see this often in sincere patients who are disciplined. They are not careless. They need directions that match real mornings. And timing matters too. When the first bites are mostly starch or sugar, glucose can rise quickly before protein has much influence. When protein and fiber are placed correctly, the meal behaves differently. This is not magic. It is basic physiology. The stomach empties at a different pace, and the pancreas faces a different workload. That calmer rhythm can make the morning easier to manage. For someone with prediabetes, this pattern can decide whether breakfast supports control or starts a long day of chasing numbers. For someone already diagnosed, the same pattern can influence energy, hunger, cravings, and the next meal. Small breakfast errors accumulate. Please hear this carefully. If you use insulin, take diabetes medicine, have kidney disease, or follow a prescribed diet plan, speak with your doctor before major changes. Your medication dose, kidney function, weight, and daily schedule all matter. Food advice should protect you, not create danger. But inside that safety frame, the correct egg method is simple, affordable, and realistic tomorrow morning. In this video, I will show you whether eggs themselves raise glucose and why preparation changes the result. I will show which pairings turn a good food into a bad breakfast. You will learn what to eat with eggs and what to stop placing beside them tomorrow morning. You will also see why boiled, poached, or simple scrambled eggs behave differently from a greasy fried plate. Near the end, I will give you a 10-second breakfast order that helps many people think before the first bite. Do not miss that part. Before we talk about how many eggs you can eat, we need to talk about what happens when breakfast hits your bloodstream. For a person with diabetes, breakfast is not just fuel. It is a morning test of speed. Carbohydrates from white bread, cereal, sweet oatmeal, juice, tortillas, and large portions of starch can break down quickly and send glucose into the blood faster than the body can handle. That rise is often sharper when the meal is low in protein, low in fiber, and easy to drink or swallow quickly. That is why the egg gets misunderstood. An egg is mostly protein and fat, not a high carbohydrate food. It does not behave like orange juice or white toast inside the body. But when an egg is placed on the same plate as refined bread, sweet drinks, fried potatoes, processed meat, and heavy oil, the meter does not separate the egg from the rest of the meal. It reads the whole breakfast. How many people with diabetes keep blaming the egg, while the real blood sugar trap is the sweet drink, white bread, and wrong first bite around it? If this gave you your first real clarity today, comment "answer" right now, and let that one word remind you for the long run. An egg only helps when it anchors a smarter breakfast. I have seen this confusion many times. One woman in her late 60s told me she had stopped eating eggs because she wanted to be careful. She replaced them with a bowl of instant oatmeal, a banana, and a small glass of orange juice. She felt proud because the breakfast looked gentle and heart-healthy. 2 hours later, her glucose often looked worse than it did when she ate eggs. The problem was not her effort, it was incomplete advice. Her breakfast had plenty of carbohydrates, very little protein, and a sweet drink that moved quickly. When we rebuilt the meal around protein, fiber, and smaller portions, her morning readings became easier to understand. So the first correction is simple. Stop asking only whether eggs are allowed. Ask what the egg is doing inside the meal. Is it anchoring breakfast? Or is it sitting beside fast sugar that will overpower it? This matters because protein can help slow the impact of a meal when it is paired wisely. It does not cancel carbohydrates. It does not give permission to ignore portions, but it can make breakfast steadier when it replaces refined starch, sugary drinks, or empty calories. The egg is not magic. It is an anchor. And once you understand that, the next mistake becomes easier to see. Many people blame the egg, but the meter is often reacting to everything sitting beside the egg. This is where diabetes breakfast becomes tricky. A person may say, "Doctor, I ate eggs and my sugar still went up." Then we look closer and discover the eggs were fried in a pool of oil, served with 2 slices of white toast, followed by orange juice, and eaten with a side of sausage or bacon. In that meal, the egg is almost the smallest part of the story. A man in his early 70s once told me he ate eggs every morning because he heard they were low carb. He was right about the egg, but his usual plate had 3 tortillas, melted cheese, processed meat, and a sweet coffee drink. He felt betrayed when his numbers climbed because he thought the eggs were supposed to protect him. That is not how food works. A safer food can be surrounded by choices that change the whole result. Heavy frying adds extra fat and calories. Processed meats add sodium and saturated fat. White toast and large portions of tortillas bring fast starch. Orange juice brings liquid sugar, which often raises blood glucose faster than eating whole fruit. So when a person says eggs did not work, I ask a better question. How were they cooked? What did you eat first? What was beside them? What did you drink? And how much carbohydrate was on the plate? Those questions are not meant to shame anyone. They are meant to find the real lever. One of the most damaging breakfast mistakes I see is not eating eggs. It is replacing eggs with foods that turn into sugar faster. For years, many older adults were told to fear eggs because of cholesterol. That warning was sometimes repeated so loudly that people removed eggs, then filled the empty space with cereal, toast, sweet yogurt, muffins, fruit juice, or large bowls of oatmeal. They thought they were choosing safety. Their glucose often told a different story. Cholesterol still matters, especially if you have heart disease, high LDL cholesterol, or a personal history that requires tighter limits. Diabetes already raises heart risk, so nobody should treat eggs as unlimited. But it is also too simple to say, the egg is always the villain. Your total pattern matters, including saturated fat, processed meat, fried food, fiber, weight, activity, and your medication plan. That is why individual advice matters. For many people with diabetes, a moderate egg breakfast prepared simply and paired with vegetables may be safer for glucose than a low-protein, high-carbohydrate breakfast that looks healthy on the surface. The doctor's job is not to create fear around one food. The doctor's job is to help you build a meal your body can handle. Now we have to talk about the yolk. Throwing away the yolk may feel careful, but for many people, it also throws away the part of the egg that makes breakfast more satisfying. The yolk is not a miracle treatment. It will not reverse diabetes, but it contains nutrients and richness that can help a meal feel complete. When a person eats only egg whites with a large bowl of refined carbohydrates, breakfast may become less satisfying and hunger can return sooner. That can lead to snacking, cravings, or larger portions later. For some people, Using one whole egg with extra egg whites is a reasonable middle path. For others, two whole eggs may fit better. For someone with heart disease, very high cholesterol, kidney disease, or a special nutrition plan, the right amount may be different. This is why your personal numbers matter more than a slogan. This is where many people ruin the egg without realizing it. You can take a safe food and turn it into a blood sugar problem by cooking it the wrong way. The best egg methods are usually the simplest. Boiled eggs are clean, portable, and easy to portion. Poached eggs give protein without needing heavy oil. Scrambled eggs can work well when cooked with little or no oil. A vegetable omelet can be excellent when it uses spinach, tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, or other low-carbohydrate vegetables instead of piles of cheese and processed meat. Keep the pan gentle. Avoid heavy frying. Avoid cooking eggs in large amounts of butter or oil. Avoid turning breakfast into a greasy plate that leaves you tired, thirsty, and still craving starch. Extra fat does not always spike glucose immediately, but it can make the meal heavier, more calorie-dense, and harder to fit into a heart-protective diabetes plan. The goal is not a perfect plate. The goal is a repeatable plate. If breakfast is too strict, people abandon it. If it is too loose, the meter complains. A good egg breakfast should feel normal enough to repeat and steady enough to trust. Now comes the part that decides what your meter sees 2 hours later. The egg needs the right team around it. Put it beside the wrong foods, and the whole plate changes. The better team is fiber, color, and slow digestion. Add avocado for healthy fat and satisfaction. Add spinach for volume without a heavy carbohydrate load. Add tomatoes, peppers, and mushrooms for texture and flavor. These foods help the plate feel full without turning breakfast into a starch pile. If you need bread, make it a small slice of dense whole grain bread. Not 3 slices, not a soft white roll, not a stack of tortillas big enough to become the center of the meal. The bread should be a small support, not the main event. This is where many breakfasts fail. The egg is sitting there, but the plate is actually built around white toast, orange juice, sweet oatmeal, sugary cereal, processed meats, and large portions of tortillas or bread. Then the person feels confused because the healthy part did not rescue the rest. Eggs cannot rescue juice. Protein cannot erase a cereal bowl full of fast starch. A vegetable omelet cannot protect you from a large sweet drink on the side. With diabetes, the liquid sugar is often one of the first things I want patients to notice because it moves quickly and is easy to underestimate. This does not mean every carbohydrate is forbidden. That is not realistic, and it is not necessary for every person. It means the type, amount, order, and pairing of carbohydrate matter. Some people tolerate a small, dense whole grain slice after eggs. Others see a higher rise and need a different plan. Individual glucose responses vary, so your meter, continuous glucose monitor, and medical team should guide you. Here is another practical way to think about it. If the egg is the anchor, the plate should not drift away from it. The larger the bread, the sweeter the drink, and the more processed the side, the less the egg controls the morning. A breakfast burrito with multiple tortillas is not the same as a vegetable omelet. Fried eggs beside sausage and white toast are not the same as poached eggs beside spinach and avocado. These differences matter because diabetes responds to the whole meal, not the label you give one ingredient. When patients finally see that, they stop arguing with the egg and start adjusting the plate. That is where progress begins. It also makes breakfast feel less confusing because the meter finally matches the meal you actually built today. This 10-second detail is small, but many people with diabetes overlook it. The first bite matters more than most people think. Here is the 10-second tip. Before your first bite, look at the plate and ask, protein first, fiber beside it, sugar drink gone? Then take the eggs or protein first, eat some vegetables next, and leave any bread or starch for later in the meal. That small order can help some people see a gentler glucose rise because the fastest carbohydrate is no longer hitting an empty stomach alone. It will not work the same for everyone. It is not a substitute for medicine, but it is simple, safe for many people, and easy to test with your own glucose readings. Now let me make this simple enough to use tomorrow morning. Try 2 boiled eggs or lightly scrambled eggs with little or no oil. Add spinach, tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, or avocado. Skip orange juice, skip white toast, skip sweet oatmeal and sugary cereal. Avoid processed meats as the daily partner. If you need bread, choose one small, dense whole grain slice and eat it after the eggs and vegetables. Then check your response. Look at your glucose before breakfast if your care plan includes that. Look again at the time your doctor or diabetes educator recommends, often around 1 to 2 hours after eating. Do not judge one morning as the whole truth. Watch patterns over several similar breakfasts, because sleep, stress, medication timing, illness, and activity can change the number. Eggs can also help outside breakfast for some people. A boiled egg with vegetables may be a steadier snack than crackers or cookies. An egg-based dinner with salad may be easier on glucose than a plate built around white rice or bread. But again, the pattern matters. The egg is useful only when the meal around it is built wisely. This part matters because safer food choices still need safe medical supervision. This video is for educational purposes only. Anyone taking insulin, sulfonylureas, or other glucose-lowering medication should speak with a personal doctor before making major changes to breakfast, because a stronger protein-based meal may change glucose patterns. People with kidney disease, heart disease, or special dietary restrictions need personalized advice. That warning is not meant to scare you, it is meant to protect you. When food choices improve, glucose can shift, hunger can shift, and medication timing may need closer attention. Guessing is not the safest plan. I want you to leave this video with one clear message. Eggs can be a safe, useful, affordable protein for many people with diabetes, but only when they are prepared simply, paired wisely, eaten in the right order, and adjusted to the person's health condition. The egg was never the full story. The plate around the egg was the story. And once you learn how to build that plate, breakfast becomes less confusing, less punishing, and much easier to trust again. You came here wondering whether eggs are safe with diabetes, but the real answer is more useful than yes or no. The risk was never just the egg. It was the pattern around it. A breakfast can look careful and still push glucose higher when it begins with juice, white bread, sweet oatmeal, sugary cereal, large tortillas, heavy frying, or processed meat. And a breakfast can become steadier when the egg is treated as a protein anchor, not a miracle food. That should feel relieving. You do not have to fear eggs automatically. You need to understand how to use them. Prepare them simply. Pair them with fiber. Remove the liquid sugar. Keep refined carbohydrates small. Eat protein first when it fits your plan. Then watch your own glucose response, because your body's pattern matters more than someone else's opinion. Tomorrow morning, try one safer plate. Use boiled eggs or lightly scrambled eggs, add vegetables and avocado, skip the juice and white bread, and choose a small dense whole grain slice only if you truly need it. Eat the eggs first, then the vegetables, then any bread last. Small changes count. Better diabetes control is often built through repeated meals that stop punishing you 2 hours later. It is not built through fear, guilt, or one perfect breakfast. Please share this with someone who is confused about breakfast and diabetes, because many people are blaming the wrong part of the plate. Subscribe for practical diabetes guidance, and like the video if it helped, so you can learn safer choices before mistakes repeat. And comment the first change you will make in the way you prepare eggs. Will you stop the juice, change the bread, use less oil, add vegetables, or eat protein first? Thank you for being here. Work with your doctor before changing your diet or medication, especially if you use insulin, sulfonylureas, or have kidney or heart disease. Take care of your breakfast, take care of your numbers, and keep choosing a steadier plate.